Hi, it's James here today. You know, and today, James just sat down and had a thought to myself. And you read on the news, we got the highest unemployment in our youth, 13%, adults around the 9%, and they're probably manipulating the numbers in Canada for unemployment. And, you know, there's a simple concept. A friend of mine told me he worked in a factory and said there was guys, no word to lie, 70 years old working in the factory like 6 days a week because they had so many kids living at their house, had to pay every bill. I'm like, what in the fuck's wrong with this bullshit? Why, you get your Canada pension, your old age pension. The government should mandate 4-day work weeks. Put your 4 days in, and you know how much jobs that would create for the fucking government? It would open up so many jobs, it wouldn't even be funny. Who in the hell wants to work more than 4 days anyways? You know, I used to work 7 days a week in the factory. I didn't have time to do fuck all. All I did is work, sleep, and eat fast food. Why don't the government decide how they're going to fix this unemployment destination fuck up they did, and take all these people and just say, okay, you only can work 4 days a week now. It's a simple concept in my mind. And I don't play with a full deck, but if I had it my way, you know, it wasn't bad. Like they had the midnight shift. It was 3 12-hour shifts. So you did 3 12-hour shifts on midnights 1 week. Then the next week you had to do 4 12-hour shifts. Not bad. So you got, at least 3 days off a week. But these people in their 70s still having to work, collecting pensions, and why all these kids, between the 20s and 40s can't get fucking jobs. And all these old people just want to keep working because that's how they're programmed to do. They're programmed to work to the day they die. And I've seen many of them. And it's pure stupidity. Just let the kids work. Drop the work program down to 4 days a week. They tried it out in England and a couple other countries. You can Google research that. And it's an experiment. But I think it's going to work. It brings employment to the young people. Young people in school, in the college and universities, they can only work 2 or 3 days a week. They can't take on a job for 6 days a week like I did. I was working 7 days a week pretty much for a year sometimes. But that's just my theory from James and the 4-day work week. James out.